1999. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, is released in theaters. Though I was 5 years old at the time and hadn't seen a single Star Wars film at that point, I still understood the massive cultural impact and influence that Star Wars had. From the various I am your father jokes to classmates dressing up as Darth Vader and Yoda for Halloween, or to my brothers beating the shit out of each other using toy lightsabers, its presence in popular culture could not be denied. While many regard the prequel films now as a travesty, it was the spark that got me interested in the Star Wars series. And I would go back and watch the original trilogy thinking that it would blow me away. And, they were alright. Yeah, they were fine. Now I can hear a few of you probably thinking, what? How can you say that? Well, the thing is, I grew up mostly in a post-Star Wars world. I had already been blown away by other pieces of space or sci-fi media that, seeing the influence from which it came from, really didn't do too much for me. Because the whole time that I'm seeing baby-faced Mark Hamill fly his rinky-dink X-Wing through the grooves of the Death Star trying to shoot an exhaust duct, I'm thinking, man, I wish I was playing... 1993. The original Star Fox comes out for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Produced and partially designed by Shigeru Miyamoto, as well as a collaboration between Nintendo EAD and Argonaut Software, this game would wow the world with its revolutionary use of 3D graphics, a move that would push the power of the Super Nintendo Entertainment System by utilizing the Super FX chip. It would establish Star Fox as a series, and although I can't deny how important and influential it is not just on the Star Fox series, but on gaming in general, I haven't really played that much of it. I do like the soundtrack of the game, though, namely the theme for Corneria is a real bop. Star Fox would sell really well, and Shigeru Miyamoto, along with other members of Nintendo, were poised to capitalize on that success by developing a sequel. 1995. Star Fox 2 is mostly complete. It sought to improve upon the original Star Fox by including 2 new crew members, Mew and Faye, as well as including dogfight sections, or all-range mode, multiplayer, and the inclusion of Team Starwolf, a rival team to battle Star Fox. However, given that at the time Sony and Sega would offer more powerful consoles in the forms of the PlayStation and Saturn respectively, Nintendo thought it would be unwise to release an SNES game at this time and canceled the release of Star Fox 2, instead devoting their time and energy to developing games for the new Nintendo 64. In the interim, character designer on Star Fox, Takaya Imamura, and programmer Kazuaki Morita would start fiddling around with the original Star Fox, using more advanced computer technology. They would show off what they had, and it would soon be greenlit for release on the Nintendo 64.
Word on the street is you got a new Nintendo 64 game coming out. Could you be a little more specific? We got a lot of new games coming out.
Star Fox 64. Test pilot boy.
You want to know about Star Fox 64, eh?
Yeah, and you'd better tell us all you know. Or else.
Or else what? Or else Plumber Boy here.
1997. Star Fox 64, or LYLAT Wars as it was called in Europe, is finally released. A space rail shooter like its predecessor, Star Fox 64 would be a reboot of the original Star Fox on the Nintendo 64. Borrowing heavily from the original in terms of story, selecting which route to take, and playstyle, it would also incorporate elements from the scrapped Star Fox 2 game, such as all-range mode, multiplayer, and the inclusion of Star Wolf. While Mew and Faye do not make an appearance in Star Fox 64, Bill Gray, Fox's buddy in the Cornerian Army, and Cat Monroe, Falco's colleague and friend, do show up on certain stages to help you out. Some stages will have you doing dogfights, others will have you blasting your way through nebulas, wastelands, or the surface of a star. Not all stages will have you flying your R-Wing, though. On Aquas, you'll take control of the Blue Marine, Star Fox's weaponized submarine. On Macbeth and Titania, you'll man the Landmaster, a maneuverable tank that can hover for brief periods of time. What route you take will completely change what kind of game experience you have. You start out on Corneria, but from there you could go to Medio, or Sector Y, or Aquis, or Ficina, and so on and so forth. It lends to a lot of replay value as well. You want to go back and see what these other stages you missed are like. I remember being 3 years old when Star Fox 64 came out, having only seen games like Street Fighter 2010 The Final Fight and The Legend of Zelda 2 Link's Adventure, since we only really had my uncle's old NES at our house, and seeing this game for the first time was like opening my eyes to see the real world. I was blown away. For one, the controls are so damn smooth. Being able to guide my R-Wing up and down the screen and shoot enemies so fluidly felt amazing. And the controls aren't overly complex, and they teach you all of them in the first stage of the game, and don't hesitate to repeat themselves when it becomes relevant.
You've got an enemy on your tail. Use the brakes. Use the boost to take. Do a barrel roll.
Additionally, this was one of the first Nintendo games to be fully voice acted, and the performances of the voice actors are noteworthy. We got the work of Mike West as Fox McCloud, the confident leader of the group.
I see him up ahead. Let's rock and roll.
Lissa Brown as Slippy Toad, the dorky engineer.
Whoa! Help me! Thanks, Fox. I thought they had me.
Bill Johns as Falco Lombardi, the cocky and self-absorbed wingman.
I'll take this one. Get the one behind me. Something's wrong with the G diffuser. I guess I should be thankful.
And Rick May, yes, the same Rick May who voices the soldier from TF2 as Peppy Hare, the seasoned veteran and former friend of Fox's father.
Incoming enemy from the rear. Drop altitude.
And if you're wondering why their mouths flap like that when they're talking, Miyamoto is a huge fan of the British puppet show Thunderbirds. So to pay homage to that show and to make it easier on the animators, they decided to make the characters speak like puppets. Finally, just the sound design of this game is really good. From the really cinematic soundtrack composed by Koji Kondo and Hajime Wakai, different sounds of your laser depending on how you upgraded it, to the warning beep sound that goes off when your ship is damaged, to the creaking and squeaking of the Landmaster as it treads on harsh terrain.
How's the Landmaster, Fox?
The sound of this freaking thing that scared the hell out of me when I was a kid. It all contributes to just really fully immerse you in this experience. As I said before, when I was young, this game really blew me away, and, well, I grew up, played some other games before returning to Star Fox 64, and all I can say is, well, I'm still blown away by it. Holy crap. I mean, what an evergreen title. I mean, this game is just so well designed and so modern feeling that it doesn't really feel like it needs any improvements. But, as we all know now, this would not be the end for Star Fox or Star Fox 64. March 2026. The Super Mario Galaxy movie comes out. A collaboration between Illumination and Nintendo. I, while on vacation in Florida, go to see it with my family. It sucked. And a lot of my family agreed. I remember talking to my dad and he said, you know, they made Mario and Luigi so mean-spirited. I really didn't like them. I did like Star Fox, though. And largely, I think that was the consensus of the whole film. The actual Mario elements stunk, but people were hungry and happy to see Star Fox. It really showed that people were ready. They got the Star Fox Jones. And Nintendo would deliver when? June 25th, 2026. Star Fox, a remake of Star Fox 64, releases on the Nintendo Switch 2, almost 30 years after the original released on the Nintendo 64. To me, it seems like Star Fox is that one series that Miyamoto doesn't want people to forget. Through the many years and alterations Star Fox has endured over at Nintendo. And while I, like many others, would like to see a new entry in the series, if you're going to bring back any of the titles to introduce this series to a new generation, you can't go wrong with Star Fox 64. Much like the spirit of Fox's late father, James, Star Fox 64 will never vanish from our consciousness or from our hearts. Thank you, MrJebus and Cody Jones.